You ever have a day start so normal, then bam, suddenly you're the headline act in a show you never auditioned for? That's exactly how my Saturday went down. Sweating through my shirt, digging post holes in the Texas sun, just minding my own business. When 3 squad cars come barreling into my driveway like I'm public enemy number 1. I'm not kidding, the sound of those sirens shredded the morning calm gravel flying everywhere, officers hopping out like they were storming a bank. And right behind them, arms folded and smirk dialed to 11, is Cordelia Blackthorne, HOA president, suburban dictator, and queen of not in my neighborhood. Now I know how this looks. Guy digging a fence in his backyard, suddenly surrounded by cops, HOA president looking like she just won the lottery. But here's what Cordelia didn't know, what nobody but me and my stack of evidence knew: she was Exhibit A in a federal fraud case I'd been quietly building for months. And I wasn't just any homeowner. I was Judge Harrison Webb, 20 years on the municipal bench, not that I ever brag about it. Truth is, after my divorce, I just wanted a place where I could start fresh, maybe finally get back into woodworking, maybe just breathe a little. Maplewood Estates looked perfect. 147 homes, lawns so neat they looked photoshopped kids playing outside, neighbors waving. For a hot second, I thought I'd found my peace. Then Cordelia happened. You know the type. 49 president of the HOA for 8 years straight, bob haircut. Sharper than her personality, always smelling like a perfume factory collided with a bouquet. She'd appear out of nowhere, Lexus shining smile like a crocodile. My mailbox got destroyed by some bored teenagers, so I replaced it. Same style, same height. Next thing I know, there's a thick envelope on my porch. Violation. Unapproved mailbox, $150 fine, $50 more for every day I didn't come to heel. I thought it was a joke, until I walked the neighborhood and counted a dozen new mailboxes just like mine. No fines on those. So I started documenting. Photos, receipts, the works. That's when Marcus House 47 strolled over with a beer and this look of, "Oh, you poor soul." Turns out Cordelia had a habit of making life miserable for anyone who wasn't in her little circle. Mrs. Chin at 23, fined for having too many gnomes in her flower bed. Solar panel guy harassed for years, every permit in order didn't matter. Patterns started emerging. Cordelia targeted anyone new, anyone with a career, anyone who might threaten her throne. My judge's instinct screamed, "Follow the money." So I did. I asked for the HOA's financial records, as was my right. Cordelia stonewalled delays, missing paperwork, everything short of a smoke bomb. Our first face-to-face. She kept me waiting in a tiny air freshener-choked office for 23 minutes like I was a kid in the principal's office. I made the most of it, photographed the posted budget, noted the peeling furniture, and started to really see the cracks in her empire. Where was all our money going? Because $388,000 a year in dues sure wasn't being spent on landscaping or pool maintenance. A little digging, well, a lot of digging turned up a company called Pinnacle Property Services, taking home nearly half the budget. A business registered to wait for it, Cordelia's brother-in-law, Derek. Coincidence, not a chance. But I wasn't about to play my full hand. Not yet. I kept documenting, quietly collecting statements, connecting dots. Meanwhile, I just wanted to build a fence, give myself some privacy to work on my wood projects. I filed the HOA application, paid their $75 review fee, then waited and waited. 47 days of silence. So I hired a surveyor, marked my property lines bright as day, and started digging anyway. And here's where the Saturday circus rolled in: Cordelia on my lawn, measuring tape in hand, telling me I was trespassing on HOA land. I showed her the survey, GPS coordinates, permits, the whole stack. She didn't care. Pulled out her phone, called the cops right there in front of the neighbors, screaming about community assets and violations. Meanwhile, she's standing in my backyard trespassing herself. Police showed up. Sergeant Rodriguez, someone I'd seen in my courtroom more than once, stepped out and almost burst out laughing when he recognized me. Cordelia lost whatever composure she had left, shrieking, "I don't care if he's the Pope," Rodriguez reviewed everything, told her point blank she was the one trespassing, and the squad cars rolled off. Marcus wandered over, grinning. She had no idea, did she? And that's when I knew the real fight was just starting. Cordelia went scorched earth. Daily violation notices, tomatoes in my garden hose on a real wrong doormat, my pickup in my driveway. Anonymous city complaints, Facebook posts, even vandalism. My fence mailbox, even threatening letters in my mailbox. Nothing was off limits. But for every petty move she made, I documented everything. Timestamps, photos, voice recordings. Neighbors started coming to me quietly at first, then in groups. Stories piled up. Marcus brought beer, Mrs. Chen brought cookies, and soon enough we had a war room in my kitchen. That's when I called a favor from my old friend prosecutor Patricia Valdez. With her help and some late nights with coffee and spreadsheets, we uncovered $127,000 in missing funds, fake invoices, padded contracts, forged signatures, all pointing right back to Cordelia and her inner circle. Sandra Mueller, real estate partner, and board VP. Treasurer Frank, Sandra's husband. They'd been siphoning off money for years, hiding behind Cordelia's smokescreens. I attended the next board meeting with a binder that could stop a bullet. Photos of selective enforcement evidence of fraud, charts, the works. Cordelia tried to kick me out, called for a vote, Bob. The insurance guy on the board killed the motion on the spot. Now the rest of the board realized just how deep they were in, and the dominoes started to fall. Cordelia got desperate, tried to file a restraining order against me, hired the fanciest attorney in town, accused me of intimidating volunteers. The judge threw it out, sanctioned her attorney, made her pay my legal fees. Community support exploded. Marcus hosted neighborhood meetings, petitions flew around, and suddenly it wasn't just my fight, it was everyone's. Turns out the original Maplewood HOA charter had a little-known clause: one criminal conviction, and the whole board gets dissolved, new elections, new oversight. That was the nuclear option, and we were ready to launch. We lined up criminal charges, civil suits, media coverage, recall petitions, the whole shebang. Neighbors who'd lived in fear started showing up, telling their stories, signing petitions, volunteering to run for the new board. Cordelia tried to destroy evidence, burning files, smashing hard drives, even sending her own son to vandalize my fence. But digital forensics is a beautiful thing, and every file she deleted we'd already backed up. Contractors came forward, whistleblowers everywhere. Even her brother-in-law, Derek, he cracked-handed over everything, begged for immunity. The recall election became a county-wide spectacle. News vans outside community center packed like a Super Bowl party. 90% turnout. Cordelia and her cronies swept out. New board sworn in, yours truly as President Marcus, as Treasurer Mrs. Chen, as Community Liaison Earl, as Architectural Review, Bob as Secretary. The day Cordelia was indicted, her world collapsed. FBI, IRS, state prosecutors, everyone wanted a piece. She tried to flee the country, got caught at the airport with $47,000 cash and a one-way ticket to the Caymans. Pleaded for leniency, got 4 years in federal prison, $180,000 restitution, lost her real estate license for good. Her co-conspirators flipped, cooperated, and got off easy. Community recovered almost every dollar stolen. Playground fixed, pool reopened, memorial garden built in honor of those who stood up. It wasn't just about money, though. It was about dignity, about neighbors who finally found their voices. That annual meeting, standing room only, Channel 7 cameras rolling national headlines. Residents shared their horror stories, reform candidates stepped up, and democracy finally returned to our little corner of Texas. Marcus got an award for leadership, Mrs. Chen for service, Earl for his flag display. Patriotism finally meant something here. 6 months later, property values up, families smiling, no frivolous fines. Kids laughing in the playground, neighbors chatting over fences, community for real this time. My woodworking shops become the unofficial town hall, and the stories keep coming, other HOAs, other towns asking for help. So yeah, Cordelia got what was coming, but more importantly, we got our home back. And if you're out there dealing with your own HOA nightmare, here's my advice document. Everything, know your rights. Never let bullies win. Democracy's messy, but when good people stand up, even the worst tyrant can't stand forever. Now, I gotta ask, what's your HOA horror story? Drop it in the comments below. Let's make some noise together, share our lessons, help the next community fight back. And if you believe one determined person can really change things, hit subscribe, stick around, because the next battle for justice might just start with you. And hey, sometimes victory sounds just like neighbors laughing together at sunset finally free.